Hi, and welcome along to AFTV News Daily. We are back with our daily news shows. We're going to be doing two every day during the lockdown. Of course, if you're here in the UK, you will know that we're back in lockdown because of the coronavirus. So, I know that a lot of people right around the country are stuck at home, not able to work at the moment. So we thought we'd get these shows going. We did it throughout the first lockdown. We're doing it again, where we give, we talk about the subjects of the day and we give you guys a chance to have your say on these live shows. Of course, there's only one subject that we can talk about today, and that is yesterday's debacle against Aston Villa. Absolute shambles, where we were destroyed at the Emirates by Aston Villa. I want you guys to get your comments in and tell me what you thought about that performance yesterday. But first of all, before we get some of your comments up, I've got Cecil with me to talk about it. I've also got James as well. Guys, it's the morning after, right? And I don't know about you guys. I feel just as bad and I feel just as upset as I felt last night. It was a shocking, and I don't use that word lightly, a shocking performance by Arsenal yesterday. After the highs of going to Manchester United, putting in a very professional performance, a great away performance, getting one of those monkeys off our back where we've always been told that we can't win games away from home against the big six. We come back, and it almost seemed to me right from the get-go when we conceded that first goal, which we got away with, it seemed to me like the players thought to themselves, oh, well, you know what? We beat United last week. This is going to be, not that they think it's going to be a breeze, but we'll get this one done as well. And Villa, to their credit, were absolutely brilliant and deserved the win. What did you guys think of it? Let me start with you, Cecil.
Yeah, I mean, when we got back from the studio last night, I sat and rewatched most of it, and I just couldn't believe what I was watching again. It was awful. It was terrible. We were scared. We spoke about this. I saw Holding bobbing and weaving forward like he was boxing and not attacking the ball when Barkley's wheeling up his leg like it was some sort of trap. Like he was doing a madness, and we couldn't stop it. I thought it was none of the players had fight. They seemed like they had nothing about them. They weren't replicating what they did at United, and I feel like we got to put some blame. We're going to get into it. I think we should put some blame on Arteta, definitely. And I said it in my fan cam. There was no plan B, and I saw a comment saying there was no plan A either by the looks of it. And it's just like it was awful. It was terrible. I think what Arteta was trying was to drop in the strikers and the fullbacks get beyond. But again, we got sussed out, and then well, we had nothing after that. So yeah, it was abysmal. It was absolutely abysmal. Yeah.
What about you, James?
Yeah, I'm still as deflated, if not more. The thing that's really been taken from me yesterday, and it sounds a little dramatic, but like it's kind of hope for the season. Like we were going to yesterday's game thinking if we win, we're on 15 points, 3 points off top. We can really make a go of this top four thing. And in the last few months, there's been things to be encouraged by, for sure. But that just made me realise just how far away we are. We're still so far away from what we need to be. And that comment, I mean, there's going to be bumps along the road. We knew that. But yesterday was a really worrying. That wasn't just a bump along the road. That was a seriously worrying performance. Not just from the players, but from a managerial perspective. I was watching it and thinking, oh no, like I've disagreed with everything Arteta did yesterday. And that's not really a good sign. But move, I suppose.
Listen, there was this stat I saw today, right? It was absolutely horrific. James, I know you love your stats, right? But check this one out, right? Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang failed to take a single shot in the game. It's the first time he's played a full 90 minutes in a home Premier League match for Arsenal without attempting a shot. A shot. Not one shot from Aubameyang. Aubameyang, our best player, right? right? How not a single shot. That means that we're not getting this guy into the game. As a matter of fact, a lot of the times he was out on the wing, putting balls in. He was having to trap back. Is it now time to say, right, we have to play Aubameyang through the middle? What do you guys
think? Look, when you listen to Arteta in press conferences, he makes a valid point, which is Aubameyang played some of his best football out. Why should we change a system that has worked quite well?
Because of the stat I just.
But it's been
that's why. That's why. You know what I mean? Because
no,
you know,
well, exactly.
That was last year, the year before. I agree, and I've even said that before in the past. But when you see those stats and when you see what's happening this season, that he's not getting the ball, we've got to play him through the middle, in my opinion. I mean, I'm going to come back to you. Let me just do this super chat here. This is from Luca. Yeah. He said, we needed Ozil's creativity and Lacazette needs to be sold in January. Whoa. He said, need to make some ruthless decisions going forward. Much love from Oz, Robbie. Big up to Luca. We'll get to Lacazette in it. Well, we'll jumble Lacazette up in this, but Lacazette's playing through the middle at the moment, Cecil. Yeah. I know he's our top scorer this season with 3 goals, but he's been poor. He's had big moments in games recently. Liverpool, he had that big moment. I think, was it the previous game to that? What was that? He had another big moment. And then again yesterday, when we're 1-0 down, he has that header. I'm sorry. A player of his caliber is supposed to bury that. He bangs it straight over the bar. It's not good enough. I mean, I'm looking at Tottenham yesterday, for instance. Yeah, they had a nightmare game, right? But the big chance comes up for Harry Kane. He buries it. I saw them play the other day against Burnley as well. Again, another poor performance by Tottenham. But the big chance came up. Son buries it. Our guys, either they're not getting the ball, which is in the case of Aubameyang, or the ball's falling to the wrong guy, which is Lacazette, who's not on any form at the moment. You got to put. I know, Cecil, you played football, right? You've got to put Aubameyang down the middle, haven't you?
100%. I think Lacazette must have looked at Ollie Watkins and thought, blood, you're everything that man needs to be right now. Because Ollie Watkins showed us what Lacazette should be doing. He held up the ball well. He brought in other players. He played that role down the centre perfectly last night. And Lacazette must be vexed. And yeah, we're not scapegoating it, but we're giving him the benefit of the doubt because he's top goal scorer. Now listen. It's early in the season. Man has only got 3 goals. Let's remember that. This isn't like he's gone way ahead and he's got like 20-something goals and he's ahead of everyone else. It's not that. It's early in the season. He's only got 3 goals. Yes, that's still top goal scorer, but that's nothing. You could score. Batman could score 2 goals in a Premier League game and then be joint. Like it's so easy to flip over. I think Lacazette is completely out of form at the moment. He needs to be dropped. And like I said, most managers that look at Arteta, they're going to think, right, I know his changes. He's going to do the like for like. It's going to be Lacazette and Keita, which causes us no different problems. We can just keep doing the same system. We'll keep them out of the game. So the same thing like Pepe and Willian. They're the same sort of player. We can keep them out of the game. They need to come with something different. And the difference is put Aubameyang down the middle. Give it I don't know how long we've been screaming it. It's been weeks. Maybe even months. It's like, come on, man. Like, come on. There's nothing different that Arsenal offer when they're caught in turmoil. There's literally nothing else. They don't fight anymore. There's no fight. There's no difference, no change. Yeah, Aubameyang, he has to be down the middle for me. I have to see it. Let me
get into some more comments. Keep those comments coming in. Really appreciate them. Gangster 1994 said we should have sold Lacazette in the summer. He's useless. And keeping Aubameyang on the wing is insanity. Randy Viper says, Laka, Leno, Willian, Saka, overrated. Arteta needs to adapt. That means changing the system. What would get him sacked? He says, much love from New Zealand. Another one from New Zealand. Big up. Mace says, never a plan B. This guy says, Shuja says, they said we will be the next Liverpool. Forget that we will be the next Leeds. Hit rock bottom before Arsenal getting back. It's not quite as well. We'll find out if we're the next Leeds. We've got them coming up, but we're not going to go down like Leeds. Here's one for you, James. Kuda, he says, I miss Wenger ball. I want attacking football. This is another problem, right? The other problem is this. The football at the moment is dreadful. I don't mind going to Manchester United, you know, setting up with 5 at the back, you know, keeping hold of possession and then getting a win. I don't mind that. At home, I want us to be on the front foot. I said when the game started, this is not me being wise after the event. When I saw the team come out and I saw same team as against Manchester United, I'm like, well, we're at home. Well, you know what I mean? I'm like, so there was 3 players in there that I thought to myself, why are they not playing? David Luiz at the back. Luiz is one of our, this may come as a surprise to people. He's one of our most creative players. He's not in the team. I'm like, you know, David Luiz from the back, he sprays balls around that people can get onto and stuff like that. He weren't in the team. Holding's not going to do that. I understand why Holding played against Man United, basically because Luiz was injured. I understand a lot of people will say leave a player in, but I thought we're taking a bit of creativity out of the game. To me, I didn't want to see Willian play yesterday. I understood it against Manchester United. He brought a better balance to the team by being in there. That was the right thing to do for that game. For this game, we're at home. I wanted to see Pepe on the apart from Aubameyang, our next player most likely to score goals in games or create things is Pepe. He's not getting on the pitch. We're at home playing. That was my thing, right? And then the other one I wanted to see, he wasn't in the squad. I don't know if he was injured, perhaps, was Joe Willock, because I was like watching him against, I know it's the Europa League, but he's a guy that he gets into the box and he scores goals. Yeah. You know, he scores goals. So it was just the team selection was wrong. The setup, we're at home. And that's why that guy's saying he's missing us playing like attacking football, James. We are so negative at the moment, don't you think?
Yeah. And what worries me the most, I don't think it's completely by design. So I don't think Arteta honestly is putting the team out there and saying, right, be a bit cautious. I think he's got a system and he's trying to coach them how to attack. And he thinks that will eventually click, right? I honestly, I don't think he went into yesterday's game thinking, let's sit back and be a bit cautious. I just think the players either aren't good enough to follow his instruction or just haven't got it yet. I said it yesterday in the fan cam. Arsenal.
Hold on, let me stop you a second there, yeah? Let me stop you a second. You say that, yeah? But look at the team. We had 2 midfielders. We're at home. So you're saying you don't think, you don't think he wanted us to, but that's a very negative setup for home, isn't it? 2 midfielders. You're up against them. Their strength is all in the midfield. They've got Grealish, they've got McGinn, they've got Ross Barkley, and then sitting at the base of that, they have that Douglas Luiz, very good player, right? They got 4 midfielders. We got 2. That's negative to me at home.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we all wanted Ceballos to play yesterday. We all thought it was the game for him. Willock, there was, a very good argument for him playing. None of us wanted the 5 at the back. I agree with all these things. I just think, I don't know, I think sometimes we get a bit too lost in systems and personnel, and ultimately it's about attacking intent and how well you press and how well you assert yourself. And yesterday the team just couldn't do it. And I've got to be honest, I said in the fan cam, right? When things got bad for Arsenal a few years ago under Wenger, and sometimes under Emery, but it got really bad under Emery, so I don't want to bring him up. But under Wenger, we used to be able to at least cause chaos and, at least pepper teams' goal and go down with a fight. And yesterday, I've seen Arsenal lose 3-0. I've seen these embarrassing defeats before, but I've seen them and I look at the stats and it's like 15 shots for Arsenal, 16, 17. We've caused them some trouble. We've been picked off at the back. Yesterday, we were totally outplayed. We were second best to everything. I can't take one positive.
Okay, let me get a few more comments. Comments are coming in rapidly. Alex B says people are going for Arteta. Shows how fickle fans are. If we consistently lose them, fine. For now, there are 6 points between us and first. Give him time. That is true. The one good thing is that we've either won or lost, right? So, You know, we're still not you know, miles off the top, but it's still, I think it's the performance that was disturbing. Nero says, Robbie, let's be honest, Bellerin will start in the next game. Aubameyang will still be on the left. Arteta is too stubborn. He learned it from Wenger, right? So, you know, I think all managers are a bit stubborn, to be fair. NBA Gaming says, Robbie, fans didn't want Mourinho because he is finished and defensive. But when Arteta put 11 behind the ball against Villa at home, we need to ask. As I said, I wasn't a fan of what I saw yesterday. I know I get it sometimes, but for me, that game, we should have been more positive. Lucas says, do we have to accept that we aren't the same team anymore? Every season we decline. So many better teams are on the rise. Meanwhile, we are not. Well, you know what? Listen, I think when you look in the Premier League, there are a lot of good teams now. Aston Villa are one of them. There's a lot of good teams. Maybe that we're not as good as we think. Maybe what the guy's saying there, you know, maybe we got to look at that and say that there's some truth in that.
Can I just touch on that comment before? Like, I want to see Wenger ball, because that's what I fell in love with Arsenal for, and Thierry Henry, is the way we used to play. Look at the 13-14 season against Norwich. That team goal is iconic. And what I take from watching that and how we are now, I talk about it all the time. The urgency in our play is shocking. We don't build up play quick enough. The likes of City and Liverpool, they do it very fast. Yes, we keep the ball well. Okay, great. That's all well and good. But we go side to side. And then teams do this new low block system. They get everyone behind the ball. And we definitely haven't got the ability to break it down. That's big Arsenal. We got players that play national level, but they can't break down this low block. So I just feel like, yeah, again, it goes back to urgency. We're not urgent enough getting the ball forward quick enough. And that's not even down to creativity. We literally teams. I saw it big time yesterday. We're not quick enough at getting the ball into the box or creating chances and problems for the other team. So I think seeing Wenger ball is going to take a lot of time. We're not going to go back to that for a while, if I'm honest, from what I'm seeing. Okay.
Couple of super chats here. I can't get these two up on the screen, but this one comes from a guy called and then it's written in Chinese writing, which I'm afraid, sorry, I can't read the Chinese writing, but he says, playing Aubameyang down the middle won't change anything. If we keep playing 3-4-3, it's painfully obvious that we are struggling to create any chances. So Aubameyang wouldn't get any service anyway. We play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. And Sarthaf Dubé says, big up AFTV. Being a United fan, I can say it as better content and balanced opinions than some channels who stand for United. Thank you very much. We you know, let me get, before I get you guys on, let me get some more comments on, because there's so many. A lot of them giving me stick, right? A lot of them giving me stick, right? What I said about Willian and Ziyech, right? JJ came in, and I've been, thank you, Willian. You've made me look a total idiot. Yeah? Back him, the king, and you know what? Big up Ziyech. He has looked very, very, very good. Wilson says Tierney and Aubameyang are being wasted in their positions. To be honest, I agree. Tierney, I'm sorry. Put Tierney as a left back. He got a great cross in there yesterday that should have been put away by Lacazette. But in playing as that third centre, I understand it in certain games. Why did he need to play in that position yesterday? David Luiz could have played there. I just didn't get it. Mini Boss is reminding us that Emery's second in La Liga at the moment, right? Listen, Emery wasn't the answer to us either. You know, he simply wasn't the answer. Football Highlight saying, Robbie, Chelsea will win the league. What are your thoughts? I think it's too early to say anyone's going to win the league. You know what I mean? Because as that guy said, we've played 4, lost 4. We're only 6 points off the top. So that's where it's early in the season, but we got to get our act together. This guy, sorry, I can't pronounce your name, brother. I'm sorry about that. But he says, even when Arsenal faced Chelsea at the Emirates in December, Willian was missing. Wonder who scouted him. This Willian signing seems to be
suspect.
You know, This guy says Arteta and Robbie out. You know, oh man, you know, maybe I should go. I gotta go. Tommy T says, big up AFTV from Oz. Leno slows the play from the back too much. Look at Martinez. His transition was smoother and faster. His goals. I had a little tiff with the DT yesterday. I was trying to point out to him that if you look at that third goal that they scored, it was Martinez's throw out to Grealish, who was then allowed to run the whole length of the pitch. But he did it quick. Now, I'm sorry. I don't know whether... I'm not sure who I blame here, whether it's Arteta because this is how he wants to play, or whether it is whether I'm putting the blame on Leno here. But we seem to move the ball out so slow. It's just that slow movement from the back, Cecil. Yeah. That's, again, very easy sometimes for teams. I mean, they were pressing the life out of us.
I know. Urgency. There was no urgency. There was no fight. There's no urgency. It's same old. We're papering over the cracks of the win against United, but there's still many problems that we can clearly see. So how Arteta, I'm sure Arteta can as well. Like, we break it down every bloody week and can see what's going to happen. So yeah. Urgency.
Nero says, if you want Wenger ball and someone that can work with a low budget, Poch is the man. He took Tottenham to the Champions League with no spend. That's not the answer. Listen, I've not lost faith in Mikel Arteta, me personally. I don't know about you guys. I know James hasn't. I haven't lost faith in Mikel Arteta. I say this and I say it again. If you're going to trust the process, you got to trust the process. You can't turn around last week after beating Man United and say, yeah, trust the process. And then we lose the week after and you say, you know what, to me, this guy's done. But that is part of the process. Part of the process is we're going to have games like this. We're going to have games where we lose. We're going to have games where we get beat up badly. It's how we react. That's what I'm going to be looking at now. We got some very tough games coming up. Leeds away next game. Tough game that is, right? You know what they're going to do already. They would have been looking at that Bielsa yesterday and he'd be going like this. I'm coming. I am coming. We're going to press the life out of Arsenal and I'm coming for them, right? Right? So that's one. Wolves. We know what Wolves do. Great counter-attacking team. Low block. Catch you on the counter with pace. Right? Tough game. And then Tottenham away. Right? Those are three very, very difficult games. Now, we're going to learn if Arteta's... Maybe those games are good for Arteta because those are games actually where he's probably not going to be looked upon to go all out attacking those games. And maybe that's going to suit his style a bit better. But it's not getting any easier. I mean, we started off the season with some tough games. Connor here says, get Lacquer out of the team, move Aubameyang to centre forward, Saka to left wing, put Willock in the team as a CAM. There's bloody nobody opening up spaces on runs. Guys, I've got to ask the question. I was asking this question yesterday. I'm going to put it to both of you right now. The O word. You know what I'm talking about when I say the O word, right? Ozil.
Ozil. Go on, James, because I'm tired.
Is that a mega mistake now? For football reasons, we were told. For football reasons, he's not in the team. Come on.
It's a lie. It's not for football reasons. We know it's not. You don't play every game, then lockdown happens, then you don't play at all. That's not. He didn't sort of drop a few clangers in training and then suddenly wasn't deemed good enough. The reason Cecil just said it there. He's tired. I'm tired of this Ozil thing. The reason I'm tired about it, because you're right to ask a question, Robbie, and fans are right to be annoyed because we're clearly not being told the truth. But I think we've got to be a bit smarter. We've got to realise Arteta's just giving us the PR stuff. It's not football reasons. There's something else going on, and we don't know what's going on. And the fact that it was gone from 0 to 100 tells me that it's something quite serious. There's clearly something that the club aren't happy with, that Arteta's not happy with. So he's not in the squad. Just don't even think of him as an Arsenal player. He shouldn't even be mentioned because he's not in the squad, so he can't come back in. We're not going to get anything out of him. So there's no point. We may as well talk about Mkhitaryan. we let him go for free in the summer. There's no point talking about it. And sorry if I'm being a bit if I'm just swatting it away, but I can't really say much more than that.
We know. You say that. Look at the comments there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. But we know enough. We know he's good enough. Arteta knows he's good enough. But there's clearly something else going on, and I don't know what else to say about that. Well, I don't know.
No, I'm gonna agree with James. I just think from a player's perspective, I've been within a club, we need to, fans listening and watching, you need to remember football is a business. Yeah, it's a big business, and Ozil played a part in ruining part of Arsenal's business. Now, Arteta used to be a player. He's now a manager. He has a higher power. Okay, it's bigger than him. Ozil, it's not down to his ability. Let's be real. The guy trains every day with the first team, sees these youngsters, he probably just has fun, embarrasses them. It's not ability. There's no way it is. We know how technically gifted Ozil is. It's higher than Arteta. He is media trained. He's been a player. He's now a manager. He's probably been, every question he gets, he's got prepared answers for. We watch his press conferences every week. When it's on Ozil, he knows what to say. It's not to do with footballing ability. And I'm tired of hearing the name Ozil. I am a fan of him. I love great players, technically gifted players. I'd love to see him play, but I've let that dream go. It's not happening. Okay, that's it. That's me on that.
Yeah, we know it's not happening, but was it a mistake? That's what I'm asking the question, because right now we ain't creating nothing. We ain't creating jack. Yeah. Junior says Arteta is a defensive coach, lack of coaching ability to get his team playing progressive, free-flowing, creative and attacking football. If we wanted to play defensive, we should have got Sam Allardyce. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so funny today. Ozil, pure. You knew he was going to start this, Robbie. There's going to be pure Ozil comments for the next 20 minutes.
You can understand why, though.
Yeah.
You can understand why. You know what I mean? So Kessler says, while performances were terrible, fans need to remember Klopp lost to smaller teams in his first full seasons. Arteta has already won a trophy and must be given time and resources. I agree with, he has to be given the resources. He has to be given time. The one thing that does annoy me a bit is that you hear fans, as I said, say trust the process, and then the next week, and it's not that you can't criticize. Of course you can. And Mikel Arteta, for me, and I'm trusting the process, yeah. But yesterday, he deserves strong criticism for the team he put out. The other thing that I have to criticize is, why is it last week when we saw that game, straight away they're on the front foot, in the faces of United. Then yesterday, it was casual. It was, even though they got a warning right at the start of the game, they didn't take heed of that warning. It was really, really poor. It's just such a shame. Now, I think Arteta will be looking at him thinking, I'm gutted that we got to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For the next game.
Yeah.
Because I think he would have liked to have got those players back out there. And, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be getting a rocket today, because despite the performances of individual players, despite the formations and stuff like that, the performance of individual players were terrible. The way Bellerin, I said it to you guys before we came on the stream, the way he got bounced off that ball by Grealish, I could not believe it. I was watching.
Yeah.
Rob Holding was so scared of Grealish. That time when Grealish and Ross Barkley were there, just like they're just like Harlem Globetrotters. They're doing dance moves like Cecil in front of the man, right? And nobody put a tackle in. Grealish, who I said yesterday, one of the most foul players in the Premier League, because people will leave one on him. They just allowed him to do what he wanted, and you can't allow top quality players like that to do what they want, or they will tear you apart. That's what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
Couple more. Let me do couple more comments before I get some more back to you guys. Dorian says, being a fan of 7 years, I've never seen a team like Arsenal where one day they play like they could beat Bayern, and the other day we lose to MK Dons. He's right there. He's right. Guys, come on, man. Let me feel better going forward. What, James?
Yeah.
What can we be optimistic about?
Well, okay.
Is it just a bad day at the office?
No. Actually, I don't think this is just a bad day at the office. I think this was a lesson to Arsenal fans and where we really are, which is that we've got a team of okay players who can sometimes turn it on and follow instructions and be brilliant, and other days we're going to drop nightmares, because the reality is, and we said it yesterday, Villa have a better midfield than us, and that showed because they won the game 3-0. But trying to offer a little bit of hope, the team currently sitting fourth, which is where we want to be at the end of this season, is Southampton. Now, it was only 12 months ago or so that they got spanked 9-0 by Leicester at home, and they stuck with their manager and they had faith in him. And he'd done some good before and not, and fans were a bit iffy, but they stuck with him. And Southampton have looked so much better for it. Now, if there's anything we can take from that, it's that sometimes the sack isn't the answer. And actually, if you just persist with the man and his ideas, they can figure it out themselves. And Hasenhüttl did a lot of stuff that Southampton fans weren't happy with. He addressed it. And look at them now. They're flying. They look better going forward than us. And they play with two central midfielders, two slightly defensive midfielders. So, yeah, let's be positive, because Arteta can still turn this around. And I think it would be wrong to do anything but back Arteta at this point.
Well said, man. Well said. Yeah. You make a great point there. Yeah, I mean, they did get beat 9-0, and they had to have a serious. You know what? Sometimes you get these defeats, and it's a wake up call, because and sometimes they can come at the right time. Because last week, I just got the impression yesterday, a lot of those Arsenal players, they, United last week, yeah, man, man's back out here, I mean,
yeah, that was me.
They weren't focused, in my opinion. By how that game started, and and especially when Partey went off, we just fell apart. It was back to the old Arsenal, and I just got the impression that they just thought it was going to be light work yesterday, and maybe you need these things. I remember my Chelsea mate saying to me, that year when they won the title, he goes, Robbie, thank you. Thanks, Arsenal. I go, what are you on about? And he goes, it was that battering that you lot gave us at the Emirates, where Conte had to have a rethink. His job was on the line. Everyone was slating the football. He changed the formation of the team, and they went on to win the league. So, not that I'm saying we're going to go on to win the league, but that game, I feel, yesterday is a wake-up call, because it's the manner. And now we're seeing that teams are coming. The other thing I think as well with this pandemic, I think teams are not really scared of going anywhere.
No.
It's like there is no tough away assignment now apart from Liverpool and Man City. Yeah. Everywhere else is just like we're going to play on their training ground.
Yeah.
There's no fans. There's no, it's really leveled things up. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing that with results up and down the league. It's leveled it up. So, I don't know. Cecil, what about you? What you got to say on it?
No, I agree with that. What you just said there. We spoke about this again yesterday. Like I said, like this home and away thing is just wishy-washy. It's literally it's an excuse, because there's no fans. There's no advantage. Okay, you might have a smaller changing room. So what? That's not going to get the mental edge over a team when you're going away. Like there's no excuse. All these pitches, these Premier League pitches, are literally they're unbelievable. They're magnificent. They're cut all professionally. You can play with them. They're amazing. So there's no excuse. I don't believe in this home and away form and all this rubbish, because there's no excuse. It's just it's annoying. And what James said, a fair play to you, James. That's a good positive that you gave for us to look forward to. Because right now, 2020, after this performance, is just getting worse and worse. It's really annoying, if I'm honest. But I'm trying to find positives. The only positive I can really think is it's still early in the season. There's not a definitive winner yet of the Premier League at all, and there's not a clear winner. The league's completely open. That's the only positive I can really grab at the moment. But hopefully, you know what I mean, things change. We'll see.
Yeah. Sorry, go on, Robbie.
No, I was just about to say the life of a football fan, man. I feel like a Trump supporter this morning. Serious, man. I do. I feel like a Trump supporter, you know? I'm just down, man. I'm just like, yo, honestly, I'm trying to get it out my head. It helps a lot talking about it with you guys and with the fans here. But I'm just hoping, I'm holding on to what James says. I'm hoping that this is going to be a positive. There's going to be a positive going forward. Sorry, James, you was going to say.
Well, if there's ever a result and a performance that is going to make a manager go back to the drawing board, it was yesterday's. And Arteta, in fairness, you could hear it when he was talking to the media yesterday, the way he took responsibility, and that's interesting. I know a lot of people say, well, of course, he's the manager, he should take responsibility. But it's very easy for him to say, look, we tried something and we didn't execute it well. But to actually blame himself suggests that he's got a lot of regret about how he approached that game. And I don't think he's going to forget that lightly. DT said himself, I mean, can you imagine if the stadium was full yesterday and we had to watch that football? That would have been, painful. But these things can be addressed. Football can change very quickly. I remember last year when we lost to City and Brighton, it looked like, last season. This was Project Restart. It was only a few months ago. All hope looked lost, and we went on a great run. We beat Sheffield away. We beat Southampton away. We beat Wolves away. We then beat Norwich. We then beat Liverpool. And actually, Arteta made a few tweaks, and things looked a lot better again. So I'm hoping he can do the same. I'm hoping he can take these 2 weeks. And also, we're coming into, November. Before we know it, it's January. If we can bring in that attacking midfielder he wants, and Martinelli comes back from injury, suddenly our front six looks a million times better, and we'll have the whole of the Europa League campaign left to go. Like, we should be gutted about this defeat, but we shouldn't be throwing away the season because there's still so much left to do. Look at Man United last year. They signed Bruno Fernandes and their fortunes changed like that. So I know I'm here with the positive drum. I'm like, guys, come on, it's not, it's not as bad as you think. Because I've done we've done our sort of complaining about the game, and we should. And as you said, Robbie, it's good to talk about. Like, you feel better after it, but we need to see the positives as well. We need to see where this can go right. It can go right still.
Who told you I feel better?
Well,
I never tell you nothing about feeling better. My dad says it's just disappointed that we can't seem to put a run of consistent performances together. It's going to be a long season, he says. But we need to back Arteta. Kevin K says, you missed my super chat, Robbie. Did I? Let me see. Oh, Kevin K. It went past me, Kevin. I've just found it. He says, Willian's a better player than Ziyech with a laughing emoji. All right, Kevin. Let's Yeah. Oh, man. Right. It's a long season, man. It's a long season. Don't worry.
This is a good super chat. Oh, I just went.
Oh, man. It's just Robbie,
this one.
Will Awar solve our problems?
I don't even know, I'm going to be honest. I think it will give us a different dynamic, but I don't know if it's going to solve our problems. There's a lot more that needs to be done, if I'm honest.
Yeah, Philly Design says, what I don't get is in the Europa, we play players in the correct position. Ainsley Maitland-Niles over Bellerin. Man, that was hard food. Ozil needs to move on in January. Joe says Martinelli will be the one who brings us up the table. I'll tell you what, if Martinelli was fit, he'd have to be in. Funny thing is, when Martinelli was fit before he got injured, Arteta weren't playing him. I know one thing, Martinelli would have buried that header that Lacazette had yesterday.
Yeah.
That's a couple of headers like that Lacazette have missed. I don't know. He's just lost confidence at the moment.
It's a struggle, Robbie. It is. It's really looking back at it. It's like when you said we could do this new show every day, I was like, yeah, this is great. We can talk through our successes. It's going to be loads of fun. Us three, you know what I mean? Gas music. I was like, yeah. last night I was watching back the game thinking, blood, I gotta talk about this all morning. It's it's a killer. I gotta be honest.
I saw one criticism of Arteta doing the rounds yesterday that I thought was spot on. Actually, I want to get your take on this, guys. A lot of people are saying if he doesn't see enough consistency from Pepe, and he thinks, Pepe, you're not doing what I need you to do, so you're not playing. That's fair enough. I think a lot of fans can accept that. But a lot of people are saying, well, what's Lacazette doing then? What's Willian doing? Like, why are you not treating them with the same standard? Because they're not delivering. They're not doing any more than Pepe is. And me and you, Sessa, we've been critical of Pepe. Like, we've said, like, I back Arteta for not playing him. But then you go, okay, but he's playing Lacazette and Willian instead. And you're like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not right. And it's a very valid point. I just want to get your take on that, guys. Like, what's your thoughts?
Go on, Robbie.
Listen, I said it before the game yesterday. I said last week against Manchester United, when the game started, I said, I think Willian's the right one to play in that game because he's better when you want defensive shape away from home. I'm like, yeah, I was with that. I said at the start of the game yesterday, when I saw the team sheets, I'm like, yeah, why is Pepe not playing? He played during the week, goal, assists. As a matter of fact, he's had goals and assists all this season. I'm not being funny. What's Willian done apart from the first game? Nothing really. He worked very hard last week, and I thought he played. Actually, last week he played okay. He was the one who put the little ball in when Bellerin got fouled for the penalty. Played all right in that game. But I just felt at home, time for unleash Pepe. Pepe's a threat. We know he can be unorthodox and that, but he's a threat. Even when he came on, even though he didn't score or anything like that, he looked more of a threat.
Yeah.
Out on that side, he was whipping balls in. He tried to have a couple of shots. But what can you do in 15, 20 minutes? To me now, Mikel Arteta needs to find a way to get him starting games, right? As people have been pointing out, that's a very expensive front three with him, Lacazette, and Aubameyang. Lacazette, for me, is not firing at the moment. My front three at this moment in time would be Aubameyang down the middle, right? I'd have Saka on one side and Pepe on the other side. If you're going to play Willian, maybe even think about playing him in that number 10 position. Maybe think about playing him there or play Willock there. That to me, but right now, Pepe has to have a run of games. We've got to start assimilating this guy into the team. I want to see us more attacking. I know we're not Liverpool, but I saw Liverpool yesterday, right? People before the game, they were saying, oh, what are you going to do? They're going to drop Firmino because Firmino's off form and bring in Jota. But there was this big debate going on before the game. You know what they did? They played all of them. You know what I mean? They had Jota, Firmino, Salah, and Mane. They went for it. They're playing Man City. And I know we're not at those levels yet. But I'm just saying, man, it's just negative at the moment. Negative. And, I think we've, even though we're maybe not as good as we think we are, we've got attacking players that other teams would love to have. Other teams would love to have Aubameyang. And I raised the point yesterday that if you remember when Claude Puel was at Leicester, he started playing Vardy out wide and saying to Vardy, get back and stuff like that. And Vardy had an absolute nightmare because that's not what he does. That's not what he does. Brendan Rodgers came back in and he said, yeah, Vardy, down the middle, do what you do best, get him behind, play to his strengths for the rest of the team, and look, he's flourishing again. That's what we need to do with Aubameyang. Get him down the middle. I'm sorry, Lacazette is going to have to work to get his place back in the team. And Lacazette can be a player that you bring off the bench and can be, because that's the other thing. I'm not convinced at the moment with Eddie. Yeah, I like Eddie. I think he's a good young player. But sorry, when Eddie Nketiah comes on, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, Eddie will get us a goal. I'm not thinking that way at all. He hasn't scored a goal this season in the Premier League. And he's played quite a few games, hasn't he? I know he ain't had a lot of time. But I'm sorry, that now has to be, those are the threats. Saka, Pepe, Aubameyang, they're the threats. And then somebody who can get maybe that's the space for Willian in behind those three. But I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know. I was going to say, I could talk about this for a while because me and James, we have this debate, and I agreed with Arteta. I don't think Pepe is consistent enough. However, my mind is now, it's changing. After watching Willian yesterday, he was abysmal, and I know Pepe is a confidence player. Fans watching understand confidence is a huge thing in football. If you're not shown that you're trusted by the manager, or which he clearly, I think, was what Arteta doesn't really trust Pepe. It can affect your performance, it can affect your mood, it affects everything. Pepe is clearly a confidence player just by his reactions on the pitch. It's very clear. I feel like what Robbie, you said as well earlier just then, that we have attacking players that other teams would take. I think Saka holds up our team, but he is one of the best players within the team. He could go to a lot of the top 6 teams and flourish. Like he's a big problem. And I also want to touch on as well, Aubameyang yesterday, he's the captain, right? He was on the wing. He wasn't even doing his captaincy roles at all yesterday, if I'm completely honest. And I feel like him being on the wing, it doesn't utilise him and his role as a captain as well. I feel like if he was down the centre, he can lead from the front and be more authoritative and be the captain that we want to see him be and score and be more confident. I don't know why he's playing down the left. I know he last season done well, but it's time to put him down the centre.
Yeah.
What you said about Vardy is definitely what is 100% what I feel with Aubameyang. He shouldn't be doing all the tracking back and doing the hard work back. He should be up front leading the line. So yeah, that's me on that.
Imran says Arteta has made us more solid. He needs time to evolve. This is his first managerial job, so mistakes are expected, but he needs to improve our attack. The attack is just fundamental. It's just as fundamental as the defense. Tino says Arteta hasn't been in the job for 12 months. Be patient, Gooners. This new regime will take years to be title contenders. I think Awar would be a good addition. Since Santi left, we have gone downhill. And what was the other one? Oh, sorry. Those were the two. We're gonna do a few more. Remember, we're back again tonight with another live show at 7 o'clock. We're going to be doing these every day, guys. Every day at 10 o'clock and then repeated again at 7 o'clock. Unless when there's a game on, we will be doing these streams, giving you guys a chance to have your say, especially at the moment. As you know, I know a lot of people that are on this stream are not in the UK, but we are currently in the UK. And we are under lockdown. We can't go nowhere. I mean, we're locked. We're locked down again. But yeah, obviously, this coronavirus is a serious thing. And so we have to take it very seriously. And this is where we're doing a lot of our stuff from at the moment. So we're going to take a few more. I mean, we were going to do a half an hour one this morning, probably a little longer tonight. But there's been so many of you getting involved with the chat, so many of you wanting to have your say that we've kept it going. Sarkaf says strikers are humans, they can't score every time. Laka's only getting 1 to 2 chances per game. We need to increase our chances for him to convert more. That's a good point. However, when you're a top striker, you may only get 1 chance in a game, Sarkaf or Sarfaf, and that's what them lot down the road are doing pretty well. They're not getting many chances, but when they're coming, they're putting them away, and that's why they're where they are, and that's where we are at the moment. Adrian says there's a lot of weak mentality, and it will remain by mentally tough players. These lot need Mourinho to clean them. Now we see the true value of Wenger. The Wenger thing, sorry. We all know Wenger was an absolutely great manager, but it was time for Arsene Wenger to move on. And when managers move on, you do have a transition period. I still trust Arteta. I still trust in the process, but maybe this process is going to be a bit longer than what people were thinking. Last week, maybe we thought, yeah, we're on our way with the process after beating United. We have been brought back down to earth with a bang.
I think people are going to ask you though, Robbie, that everyone's going to say, but what's the process? And it's a good question. I just feel I feel like Arteta done what he wanted to do, was solid up the defense. Didn't really yesterday. We didn't see that, but that's something you can tick off his list, because we were. We had the strongest defense in the league. So there is a process. It's going to take time. I personally, big up. I used to play it. Yeah, there is a process. It will take time. I still trust in Arteta, but we have a right as fans to question. Just question. Me and James do it every week. We just question things. We see a certain way. Obviously, we're not the manager, but we see a certain way that we feel like will work for the team. We do it in our pre-match build-up, and most of the time we've been proven right. So. I don't know. Yeah, we have a right to question the manager, and trust him still. It takes time.
James.
Yeah,
quite an interesting question that person asked. What is the process?
That is a great question. That is a great question, because what you're essentially asking me is, what progress have we seen on last year, and what's it leading towards? I'll try and keep it short, but essentially, I think we play out the back better. I think yesterday wasn't an example of it, but we have looked better defensively since Arteta arrived. I don't think that's disputable. One game over the last 12 months, that was shocking. Otherwise, I think we've looked a lot better. And I think it's about, what is the process? I think it's about a few more transfer windows, getting the players that Arteta feels he wants and needs, giving him his squad, and hopefully it will come together. I think at the moment he's trying to find solutions for what he has in this current group. By the way, I'm not just making excuses for him, nor am I saying I agree with him. I'm just trying to explain what I think his mindset is. But I agree, it's hard. You're looking at it and you're going, well, what are we hoping is going to come from all this? But I think, be patient and we'll see. But I think it's about controlled football. I think that's what he wants, and hopefully in time we'll get it.
By the way, guys, we've got, just to let people know, we've got a new app that's coming out. I don't know if people can see it there. This is an app is called AFTV VIP, where you'll be able to get, as well as all the content that you can get on our YouTube channel. On this, you can get extra stuff, like you can get written stories, you can get various different things. We've got, there's a poll on it at the moment. It's, where is it? I was trying to find it. I'm going to tell you more about this app later on. Because we're about to launch it, but there's a bit on it where it says, do you trust in Arteta? Right? You can see that 73% of people say yes, 26% of people say no. So people are still trusting in Arteta. I'm going to give you more details of the AFTV VIP, which is like a membership app. So pay a couple of £1 a month and you get a load of extra content on there that you can't get on YouTube, like written stories and lots of Opta stats and stuff like that. But I'll give you more details of that later on. It's up to you guys if you want to do it.
I'm going to say on that,
it's a great little...
Yeah. People listening and watching, sorry to cut you, Robbie, but yeah, the exclusive content you get on the app is second to none. Like,
yeah,
you got
there's a football bit on it. There's some football stuff that's coming to it, football skill stuff. I'm not going to tell you nothing about it.
I'm gone.
I was going to leave it. Yeah. By the way, where's that? Have you still got that Christmas tree up?
Yeah. What, come. Let me see if we can pan around to the Christmas tree. You want to have a little look?
I saw it the other day and I was like, no, this guy can't be serious.
Come on. We got some presents as well. Hold on.
No, seriously, man. Presents. Those real presents.
Yeah, man.
It's the 9th of November.
Robbie, loud.
The 9th of November. How can you have a Christmas tree up?
We're trying to be jolly, man. It's been bare bad energy. Ooh, bro. Bad energy.
I'll tell you what, yeah, after yesterday's game, I might put a tree up as well.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe that's the answer. Maybe I'll get a tree up as well after yesterday's game. Oh, my God.
Play a few tunes, have a little dance in the morning, go by your tree. It's a vibe.
Just going back to that process thing. James broke it down. Cecil broke down what they think the process is. I agree with what you're saying there, James. I think the process is that. The process what I see, first of all, is make Arsenal hard to beat. You wouldn't think that after yesterday's game.
Yeah.
But definitely, and you wouldn't think that of the fact that we've played 8 games and we've lost 4. But I think that that's part of it. First of all, make the team hard to be beaten, right? Then get the team playing free-flowing football, and then also get his own players in. Get certain players that don't have the right mentality out. As I said, the team crumbled once, Partey went off. And even Partey weren't having a great game, but he was still getting the ball forward. He was still starting to make things happen. And as soon as he went off, we got absolutely bodied in that midfield. So I think the process, listen, the word process means just that. It's going to take time, right? We're not going to go out and just because Arteta's in now, we're going to win the league in his next season. It takes time, and we do have to trust in him, and we do have to get behind him. Yesterday was a massive setback, but you know what? You can look on it and say to yourself, could this be a turning point in the season where we've had a horrible performance at home, and that has woken every Arsenal player up? He'll be able to go into that change room or on the training ground today, and he'll be able to go straight up to a lot of even the big players, even like an Aubameyang and those guys that maybe normally wouldn't get much criticism because of what they've done in the past. And he'll be able to tell him exactly how he feels. Every single one of those players, and none of them can say anything to him because they were all poor. And that's what it does sometimes when you have some of these defeats. It's a big reality check. And you're able to go, as I said, you're able to go up to these players and say, yo, you rubbish. I don't care what you did last week. Crap. Lacazette, you've not been good enough. End off. You're not good enough at the moment. If you're not improving, you're out. Willian, don't step up. You're out. All of you. If I see more of that, you're gone. You're out. You're out of the team. Normally, it's easy to blame certain men, isn't it? Mustafi, Kolasinac of the world. None of them were playing yesterday. None of them. Yeah? None of those scapegoat players were playing. Yeah? The players that a lot of people want to see play were playing yesterday, and they didn't deliver. So that's why that result in a stupid, strange type of way might even turn out to be something that can help us this season. And that is part of the process. But I'm sorry, quick random question. This guy said, is Santi Cazorla the best gunner in the last decade? If not, who?
Cazorla and Shelney for me.
Yeah, I liked Alexis, to be honest. I hate the way he left, but I like Alexis. But anyway, memories, eh?
Can I quickly this is a question I feel like I'm going to ask, and we can go through it throughout the week. It's on my mind as being a striker. Do you think we're too easily bullied, boys? Like up front, especially. So our front three and the subs, the front three and the like-for-like subs for them. Do you think as strikers or forward attacking players, we haven't got enough, I don't know, physical bite about us? Do you think because I don't see a player in our attacking threat that can bully defenders or want to get in the nitty-gritties? If I'm honest,
to be fair, no, I think Lacazette, to be fair, is a guy that will get stuck in. He's just off form at the moment, but he does get stuck in. He doesn't shy away from the challenges and stuff like that. Aubameyang's not that type of player. Like I said, you know what I mean? You've got to play, you know what I mean? Play to your strengths. You know, Vardy's not in there to bully man. Vardy bullies man in different ways.
Yeah.
He bullies man he doesn't bully man physically. He bullies man in different ways, and that he has you on the back foot all the time.
He's like Salah.
He causes you problems all the time. He's like that's why people are always describing him as a pest. So it's a different type of bullying. It's not a physical muscle you out like a Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
But he's a pest. He's always there. He's always around. You don't know where he is. Where is he? He's making these little runs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing that from none of our strikers. Exactly. Ray Miller, I'm going to do a couple more now because we're nearly an hour gone. right? Such has been the debate this morning. Ray Miller says, how did Saliba go from a great defender that everyone wants to someone who can't beat out Holding and Mustafi for a spot? You know, I think this is a whole nother way. This might be a show because I watched that Fofana playing at Leicester. He's been brilliant. They used to play together at Saint Etienne. And Saliba can't get nowhere near the team. This again is very highly embarrassing at the moment, as far as I'm concerned, for Arsenal. That first of all we bought him, sent him back. Then now he's come back. We're all thinking yes, and he can't get a game. I do not know what's. Again, this is another problem for Arteta that he needs to solve. He's saying that he might send him on loan in January. Why not throw him in and let's see what he could do? Or is he that bad? I don't know. We don't see him in training. But I think this is going to be another show. Listen, we've come to the end of the show today. Really enjoyed it. This has been our first one. We're going to be back at 7 tonight. I'll be back at 7 tonight. The guys are going to be back in the morning. Remember, every day, this show is about you guys, about your comments, about you guys getting involved. We want to hear from as many of you as absolutely possible. We'll be discussing all the Arsenal news of the day. We'll touch on other bits of football news as well. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to touch on that Panenka. You know, that was going to be the worst bit of this weekend, but of Fulham. After our performance yesterday, it overshadowed everything. But listen, guys, thank you very much for coming on this morning. Thank you very much, Cecil.
Thank you
very much, James.
No worries, it's been fun.
Okay, and thank you to you guys, the listeners. This show's been sponsored by Profit Accumulator, also by Mask FC. Don't forget, you can get your masks. You've got to wear them now if you go out as well. And we will be back tonight at 7 o'clock and looking forward to hear from you guys. But yeah, it was a terrible day at the office yesterday. Bad defeat. But could this be a turning point for Arsenal? We'll have to wait and see.